Hey everybody, I just want to do a real quick coverage on the passive margins. You guys have already turned this in. Some of you even had your exam, so you probably didn't have an issue with it on the exam, knowing the definitions, but I just wanted to show you an application. We're kind of interesting here because on the passive margins, especially on the East Coast, we have very developed plateaus. And so if you go with your definition, here, let me remind you of the image. So as this picture shows you, we have what's called a plateau, and you can see the little ledge here of all the times back before when this was formed. It used to be a convergent boundary before, when the two plates were together back in Pangea, and then they split apart, creating the mid-ocean ridge, mid-Atlantic ridge. But as you can see here, the slope is the part of the continental margin that is really rapidly dropping. So we're talking, although we want to say that passive margins are definitely a more gentle slope compared to the active, it's really the shelf that is very gently sloping as well. That's the part where we switch from like a 1 or 2% grade to 4 to 5 to even, as you can see, 42%. So the rise naturally builds into the plains. So let's take a look at that here with our visual of Google Earth Pro. So follow me up here in this area as well as down here. So we move across here, and as I'm looking at my line, again, follow the arrow as I come along here. You can see it's 1%, 1%. There's a little bit of a dip here. That's only about a 0.5% slope. So that is not our, we're going from 8,000, basically 0 meters to 500 meters. That's not going to be our slope. Then we have this very, very gently sloping still. This is all continental shelf. Here is shelf break, because our continental shelf continues out to about 275 miles, as you can see, offshore before it does this. Whew, now follow the arrow. We're dropping from 2% down to 8, 14, very, very steep slopes right here. That is our slope. Then we get down here to our continental rise, which actually is where all the sediment gets dropped off. We even see a little bit of a bump. And somewhere around here, the rise will slowly merge into the abyssal plain. And so the rest of this being the abyssal plain here. So our shelf break is not until way out here where you see very clearly this transition from what, 5,000 feet to 18,000 feet. So let's divide that by 3. So what? Oh, my brain's not working. Okay, sorry, I had a little mental mess here. So we're talking 4,297 feet. That's approximately what, 5,000 feet divided by 3 on average puts us at about 1.5 kilometers. And then all of a sudden we're down here at, an average of 4 kilometers. So this right here is our shelf break. This very steep is our slope. And then we'll get to our continental rise. So thank you for understanding, and hopefully you did well in the exam. I also just wanted to add a real quick how to do this. So I come up here, and here's my path. I'm going to make a path from Cuba out here to this depth. I come up to altitude, I switch it to clamp to the seafloor, and then I say if you want to change your measurements to be in meters, you can certainly do that, or kilometers. Let's do meters. Okay, you still have to divide by 3. And we click on this guy. That's my path here, and boom, show my elevation. So we can see now that we're dealing with, hey, sorry, I had to switch elevations. I didn't name them. You're supposed to name them. And so here we see way up over here are very, very steep terrain changing. Dun, 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 dun. And of course, a nice little trenchy space there. All right.